Hi guys, hope all is well. I'm going to do a video about just for the week. I did have a couple trades last night and today, which went quite well, so I'll go over those. If I'm going to be completely honest, nothing really too exciting across the board. Overall, first of all, what I'm waiting for on dollar is we've broken out of this accumulation zone. We have come into this place where I've been waiting for ages. We did have a nice test just on that last wick. And the last point I'm kind of looking for some sort of potential reactions is now going to be this 4-hourly, whether we're going to pull back a bit and then go up, or if we're just going to push higher. But let's see. But this is the point that I'm definitely going to be looking at. So potential across the board, waiting for some sort of like 4-hourly demand to potentially be met. So dollar, that's what I'm waiting for. If we do actually get some short movements, we do break down a bit, then it's hopefully going to be a simple test. Did we take out that higher? Okay, so we just create equal highs in here, which is probably mean we're going to go take those out. So whether now we are going to break below this, pull back up a bit, come back down and then go higher, or unless we're just going to pull down a bit and then go higher. But we will wait to see what happens. But across this, nothing much so far. US 13, nothing on this whatsoever. Super dry. It's literally just continue. That's fine. This is why I do trade other pairs, just because sometimes just sitting and waiting for one pair, you literally don't get. I mean, for me personally, all of this run literally for like 15 days, there's not really been an amazing place to get in. Even things like here, you can see haven't been tested and things like that. So again, it's what it is. US 30, I'm going to move that to the side. AUDUSD, two super clean trades off of here. We have now come in to our 4-hourly demand, which is what I'm sure everyone's all been waiting for. But if you remember on my previous video, I've actually been waiting for price to potentially even come back down into these points. So if we potentially invert that, kind of looking a little bit similar to the US dollar, kind of looking for that sort of like pullback and then that long move back up into this position. We have tested so far of this 4-hourly, but we do have some lows in here and in here, which I don't really like to see. But there's a potential of two outcomes. We could maybe either pull down, pull up, and take out these highs. Or what I probably favor most is if we actually come down and dig a bit deeper into this daily imbalance and then actually start getting the long move. That is probably something I'm going to be looking for. Even though we've got the long idea from down here, we can still look for potential shorts. So I've got a couple orders. So obviously we've had that break structure, just looking for the zone that caused that. We had all of these highs in here that got swept with this hourly move in here. I'm going to be looking for this first point as POI. If failing that, that's fine. Going to just look for price to push a little bit higher, maybe just to come in a little bit deeper into this imbalance in here. Is it on a 2-hourly? Yeah, there we go, on this 2-hour. So we could potentially see some moves off there. It's just going to be the very simple case of looking for price to either come into here, react, and then continue lower, or if we're going to dig just a little bit deeper and then head back down. So far though, we are kind of causing and pushing this bullishness, so we do have a raid here. Is there anything we could maybe possibly get in on for potential longs? No, to be honest with you, there's not. Maybe this guy down here, but I'm not really going to be looking at that too heavy. So far though, we are potentially still good for longs, unless price annoyingly wants to just push up, and again, that's fine. That is what that is. Maybe even going to the Asian session, could get a test of somewhere in here, pullback and then long. But so far for the trade that we did have, we had our last week low, which then got taken out on Monday. When we got taken out on Monday, we had this really, really nice sell candle that then shifted momentum, and then we started pushing up. We did have, let me just delete all of this. We did have a slight lower time frame accumulation going on here. This would have just been the test, and then we had that continuation. We did absolutely liquidate all of that. We liquidated our London low, but what we did do is we came into the 50% of this zone. So I was waiting for price to actually come back into this zone anyway, which is fine. We had price came into here. we had this big kind of expansion move, and my trade was literally just off this guy. So entries for long, did want to just have my stop loss just a little bit lower, just past the 50%. I didn't want to have my stop loss down here just for risk reward purposes. I know the stop loss isn't big, even if I did have it from that low. But I was still expecting just have this test of that 50 and then kind of push up a bit. When we did have that push up though, which was nice to see, we did come up and we generated more highs in the form of liquidity. People are going to be selling. You can see sell going into Asian session. Now I did have an order at this 5-minute zone in here, but I did have my stop loss resting at the same point as my first order that I had in. So we did actually just run that low, because I'm sure people were having the same idea. We came into Asian session, we pushed going into London, didn't do too much. New York raided, and then we pushed higher, hit targets. So my targets on this pair were not only this 50% zone, but these equal highs that were resting in here. So when I ever see equal highs kind of in zones like this, kind of makes me think that they're going to get taken out, which is why I think we do have some equal highs in here, which makes me think we could actually just do something like this. But let's wait and see what happens. I'm excited to see. Second pair, CAD. CAD absolutely smashed its target today. Love to see it. Let's break it down. So I was looking last week to see if we were going to come take out this low, and we didn't. We came pretty close. So that's Monday. Going into the week, we did start to have a bit of a push up. Nothing really too dramatic. We did invalidate some supply, but there wasn't really anything for us to actually come down and look to test off. Now there was a super tiny zone here on the 30-minute. You can see we had these lows, ran, push, continuation. Now I was looking yesterday for shorts off of this zone, and you can see that did come out valid. But then going to the end of the session, we did absolutely just run, which is fine. As soon as you had that run going into this morning, I then still had the idea that price wanted to maybe come back down at least into somewhere within here. Now, the first point of contact I was looking for was this 30-minute zone in here. You see we have supply, this is demand, which invalidated both of these supplies. So that was definitely going to be a target for me. Could have even held the trade a little bit deeper, probably only down into this low. But I'm still happy with the 4, basically R5 ratio. So let's break this down. So we had, going to the end of yesterday's session, price come up, we ran the high. Asian session, we did nothing except we just started to manipulate all the sellers within this point. End of Asian session, we create this buy move. This then is confirmed breaker structure. All I'm really looking for is a test of that zone. Now, this is my original entry in here, and I did get another entry in and around here, just where the 50% is. And then you can see after that, we pretty much just died off. So that was 12. Actually, no, tell a lie. I actually took this one out just around here. So that was 9R. 4, 13, 30, 17. So around like 17 times on my wrist today. So across the board, really, really nice trading day. Love to see it. It's been a little while. Euro pound, I was expecting some moves back up into this guy just before selling off, but you can see we did actually start selling off, which is fine, which means that we have more of an excuse to actually get back up into these areas. Now, I am and still maybe looking for this weekly zone to get met, but that doesn't mean that we won't. EMAs are crossed on the weekly, could see some further downside movement. This is definitely going to be the only zone that I would be looking for to potentially buy from. I know we do have this overall kind of sell to buy, but if I'm going to be honest, I don't like all of this. And I don't like this. If there was going to be anything, I would have wanted to have seen like a run and then a continuation, or at least down here a run and then a continuation, but we didn't get that or that, which does give me more of the idea that price could maybe just melt through. I'm not going to say that is going to happen, obviously, but this is going to be my major point that I'm going to be looking for. On the 4-hourly zone, you can see we have this sell. We have this sell to buy, and this high lines up exactly with the 50% of this sell to buy movement. So you can see 50%, that was a really, really clean test. But just because we have tested it, that doesn't mean that we can't just continue back down. So I'm just going to sit my hands on this and wait to see what happens. Euro pound, in my opinion, absolutely nothing. Only was looking at this just because of potential CAD Swiss, just for the potential slight correlation between them. No entries for me on here, unfortunately, but that's fine, is what it is. Nothing, anything too exciting, to be honest. Silver, absolutely nothing for me so far. I haven't even really looked at this pair, to be fair, so I'm just going to leave that one. Gold, potential, looking to see if we can get a run up into this guy, and then further the continuations lower. But it's only ever going to be just into this daily zone down here to then maybe continuations. But if I'm going to be honest with you, nothing really that exciting. I'm only looking into here because on an hourly, you can see this guy got filled. This overall move got filled. This here got tested with this. So now this is just the last unmitigated area before a breaker structure that's occurred. We still have this New York high going in from last week. So very much well could see, like I said, a run and then a continuation just a little bit further. If we do get that run and continuations, that could mean AU could have that run and continuation. But we are just going to have to wait and see and what happens. Past couple of weeks have been a little bit slightly slow. There has been some movement, but in my opinion, nothing really there. Nothing much too exciting to have been getting in on, which is a shame, but that's fine. It is what it is. So if you guys got any questions, please let me know. Feel free to fire away and I will help everyone as much as I can. All right, guys.